Here's a small electric motor that I pulled from a toy. Everyone knows if you hook the ends of the wires to the battery, then the motor will turn. Most people know if you take those same battery wires and hook them to, say, a light bulb, like this case, and turn the motor will actually act as a small generator and power the light bulb. What I'm going to show you is how to keep that light bulb going using this method without the use of a battery. And I'm going to show you how to do it now. Here's everything you need to make this work, except this. You won't need this anymore. We've got the same motor hooked to the same light bulb using a Philadelphia cream cheese lid. The reason I'm using it is because it's already spaced out perfect with these 12 lines that run around the edge. We've got some super glue, crazy glue, some scotch tape. I have 3 matches that I will use as a tripod for my motor, and I'm just going to use this to cut my matches to length. I have 12 nano magnets. You can find these in some kids' toys, or you can find them online. They're very powerful. And I have 2 magnets together. I pulled these out of electric motors that ran around a track. This is what holds the cars to the track. They're probably 3 times more powerful than the nano magnets. So that's all you need to make this work. So here's what you want to build. On the Philly cream cheese lid at every line, I cut a notch just big enough for the nano magnet to slide into, and I super glued each one into place. I made sure that the polarity of the magnets ran the same all the way around the lid. I cut a hole in the middle of the lid just big enough for the gear to slide through, and I super glued that into place. Now I made this in its most raw form to show you that the only wires that's running in this motor is this light bulb. I scotch taped each leg of the tripod into place after super gluing them to the motor. And I don't want them to slide across the table when I hold the magnet close to get the wheel spinning. And again. Alright, so let's try this out. Hold the magnet, find the distance that you need to get the motor going at its maximum speed.
This is the machine that powers the world. It's an internal combustion engine. And to be more exact, it's a 4.6 liter V8 that gets somewhere around 18 miles per gallon. And with gas prices at what they are today, this engine is helping to make someone very rich. And as bad as I hate to say it, it's definitely not me. Now, try to imagine this, an engine that doesn't require an outside fuel source. You just turn it on and let it run. And the best part, it runs off of something as simple as a permanent magnet. You know, that thingy that you use to stick your grocery list to your refrigerator? Now, it's no secret how a magnet works. Opposite poles attract, while like poles repel. The trick is to use the magnetic fields to create mechanical energy. If you look closely, you'll notice that there's a magnet connected to each piece of wood, and they have alike poles facing outward. So now, when I push one magnet in front of the other, they immediately kick away. Looks pretty simple, right? The thing is, there's a little more to it than just that. You have to find the right alignment of magnets. That way, one group of magnets push another group through their starting position. This creates a process that restarts over and over again. And what do you get? A non-stop continuous cycle that will run until the magnets lose their fields. Now, I know what you're thinking. How long does a magnet last? And the answer to that question is somewhere around 400 years, give or take 100. The point is, the energy source would outlive its owner. Now, you remember the engine that's helping to make the oil companies rich, right? Well, there is one part that is of interest here, and that is the alternator. You see, as long as this machine keeps turning, it produces an electrical current. So, why not take this machine and connect it to this machine? Then you would have, depending on its size, a generator that could run anything. And yes, that would even include your house. Could you imagine never paying for electricity again? I could live with that. Could you?
That's electronic.
Crank it up. Go faster, Tom? Will it go any faster? Oh, I see.
How fast is next thing I'll do is take numbers off of this, and we'll put the big gear on it, take numbers off of that, now we determine which way we want to go. We may go with a smaller gear on the motor, and then this is 3600 RPM, because it will work the motor a lot less. Yeah, no kidding. How fast is that going now? It'll work either way. It's still on 1600 right now. We got 90 volts coming out, 36 volts.
This is the LEA. It's the Lutech electricity amplifier. You see we're running a number of lights as a resistive load on the right-hand side. As we go across to the left, we see our meters. We take our DC input. The DC input in this case is 280 watts. The DC output, as we get on the 4 bottom meters, as the AC is 636 watts. We divide 280 by 630 into 636. We get 227% efficiency.
To another good idea, and imagine a machine that could power your house for free. Well, that's exactly what 2 Australian inventors claim they've developed. Using magnets and a battery, their new generator has been described as revolutionary, and foreign investors are lining up for a piece of the action. Chris Allen reports.
So, John, this is the machine?
Yes, this is it, Chris.
What's it capable of?
Well, it'll power a house. The machine will provide sufficient electricity to run a house and have power to burn.
It sounds too good to be true, but inventor John Christie is convinced his machine will change the world.
So, John, basically you're saying this machine can produce 5 times as much power as it consumes?
Yes, it does. This one, exactly as we see it, it does. And in fact, it can produce more than that.
Once kick-started from a battery, John and his partner Lou Britz say this prototype will run for years without stopping, generating 24 kilowatts of power a day.
You don't get more revolutionary, I think. I mean, we're talking about something that has the capacity to change the way that the world produces its electric power. It has the capacity to change the way that cars are propelled. You can replace the combustion engine, in fact.
John, these are big claims. Are you sure you can live up to them?
We don't really need to live up to them, Chris. The technology speaks for itself.
I mean, a householder could buy one of these machines and install it in his garage and power his house forever without buying another kilowatt from a retailer. I mean, that's how serious it is.
Steve Brassington is an independent electrical engineer. He's seen the machine and backs up everything John says.
It's revolutionary. That's the only way to describe it. I think the technology, it's not bending physics, it's just using principles that I guess are commonly in use in power generation today in a different way. These guys have thought outside of the square.
Basically, it's magnetic attraction and magnetic repulsion that provide the movement or the moment of the motor.
Can you understand why some scientists are sceptical about it?
There is no physicist or engineer who has looked at our motor or has looked at our figures who says it doesn't work.
Lou is an electrician and John a businessman in Cairns in far north Queensland. The 2 unlikely inventors have been tinkering with their machine for 6 years. They've applied for an international patent and have been swamped by people wanting a piece of the action.
These are the coils. We mentioned the coils don't get hot.
Local businessman Alex Roma is one of the many offering money to help develop the generator.
If it proves up to be what they say it is, it certainly would be something I'd invest in.
John has also spoken to millionaire inventor George Lewin, the man who came up with the Triton workbench and who's now setting up a fund to stop Australian inventions going overseas.
There's an opportunity here, I think, to share an invention with the world that is beyond anything that we've ever contemplated before.
Scientists here at the local university say while they're interested in John's machine, they're also cautious. They say if the machine can generate as much power as John says it can, then they will have to rewrite some of the laws of physics. And they've urged people to be cautious about investing in it until the generator has been independently tested.
Anybody who says it doesn't work hasn't seen it or hasn't looked at our figures. They haven't reviewed it. If they look at it, they'll all agree with us that it does work.
John says the household generator should be available in a year and sell for about $5,000. If he's right, it will make him much more.
And how much do you think your technology could be worth to you?
I have absolutely no idea.
We could be talking about millions of dollars here?
Yes, I'd very definitely talking millions of dollars, but I'd hesitate to even take a stab at it.
Good idea.
Here at Lutech Australia Proprietary Limited, we have further improved our patented technology. The single module, as seen here, produces 1,250 watts while consuming only 210. That's almost 6 times amplification. By stacking 2, 4, 6 or 8 modules, we can develop 2.5, 5, 7.5 or 10 kilowatt output models. That's enough power for most homes or small businesses, and the 10 kilowatt machines can be ganged together to produce 20, 30, 40 or several hundred kilowatts of electricity for the larger applications. In all of these examples, the input is less than 20% of the output. That means more than 80% off your power bill, and equally important, a more than 80% saving on greenhouse gas emissions. Final product testing is scheduled to be finished by March of 2008, with the products becoming available for sale throughout Australia and New Zealand very soon thereafter. We're not taking orders yet, as final prices are not yet available, and we're still raising finance from sophisticated investors for the last leg of this 10-year journey. Come and help us green up and clean up our planet.